Scott Walker, Tilt. Scott Walker was an American singer and musician who came to London in the swinging 60s as one of a three-piece band called the Walker Brothers. They were not brothers, just like the Righteous Brothers or Ramones. Scott was the bass player, but because his dramatic baritone voice proved to be their big selling point, the Walker Brothers became more of a proto-boy band, singing with cavernous echo to lush strings. The Walker Brothers split after a number of big hits, and Scott dropped the fake surname and made 4 solo albums called Scott 1, Scott 2, Scott 3 and Scott 4, using his real surname Engel to credit his songwriting. He covered many Jacques Brel songs and wrote many excellent Jacques Brel style songs of his own with lavish productions and using the best musicians of the time. But the albums became more and more challenging and were selling in fewer and fewer numbers. So he financed the making of the music he wanted to make by reforming the Walker Brothers and making commercial solo records. One of the Walker Brothers records was sufficiently edgy to have apparently inspired David Bowie and Brian Eno to make the Berlin Trilogy. Up until the Berlin Trilogy, popular music had been progressing at quite a fast rate, from Chuck Berry to King Crimson, Kraftwerk and others. But whereas Bowie always wanted to be a rock star and only dabbled in experimentation, Scott Walker did not like being a star and became a reclusive experimental musician. As rock music turned away from experimentation and became codified and split into genres, each of which obeyed strict rules, which were then taught to the following generations that achieved excellence by standing on the shoulders of giants. So Scott Walker made a trilogy of albums over 3 decades that moved away from rock music to the eventual point of being almost unlistenable. I heard some of Walker's later music on Stuart Maconie's Freak Zone on 6 Music, and it was like nothing I had ever heard before. And I am always looking for something that is like nothing I have ever heard before. And when you've heard as much as me, it is not easy to find. The only thing that has since been recorded that is similar is one of Bowie's later tracks. The album Tilt is the first of the trilogy and captures the sweet spot where he managed to create interesting music that sounded like nothing else, but was still entertaining. His baritone voice is still evident, and there is one song that links back to the numbered albums. It opens with a piece that sounds more like a modern operatic aria, with a memorable vocal hook and recognisable chord progressions played by strings. Other songs use traditional rock drums and distorted guitars, but have the dynamics of classical pieces with climaxes and restful quiet interludes. There is a TV documentary about Scott Walker called 30th Century Man, which is well worth finding. There was also a Scott Walker prom. Tilt, Scott Walker.